So ConnectBooster, what is it? Let's just cut to the chase, and here's the elevator pitch. We are a payments automation integration into both ConnectWise and QuickBooks. If you guys are running TigerPaw as a PSA right now, hey, we have a solution. We actually work corporately with TigerPaw, so hit me up after this webinar, and we'll talk about that. A lot of these same features. The ConnectBooster product is specific to ConnectWise, but if you're running TigerPaw, I've got a great solution for you, so hit me up. Also, AutoTask is like hot on the burner. We're in the process of it right now, and AutoTask is actually very excited about our product that is going to do all of what ConnectBooster does today. So if you're in one of those PSAs, which are also excellent products, hit me up because we're going to be able to provide this automation for you either currently or in the very, very near future. So again, ConnectWise, QuickBooks, that's what we're talking about today as far as this payments integration. And our common thread here for a ConnectWise user, okay? Our common thread is that most of us have invested in PSA software, CRM, to help us streamline our businesses, basically to generally just not drop the ball and organize everything. And that's where I'll talk again in a moment about B&G Technologies, my sister company, where we ran into some troubles trying to extend a business in a vertical that we thought was going to be an easy move, but it actually wasn't a real easy move for us, and we ran into some of these problems. So we personally invested in ConnectWise to help us streamline our business and automate a lot of the painful, redundant functions that we were doing on a day-to-day basis, which was very inefficient and wasting time and money. Well, the one thing that we didn't have within that PSA tool was a complete true automation for getting paid. Okay, and so that's where we have this little converging pie coming into the rest pie piece coming into the rest of the pie is, you know, we are really meeting the niche of helping companies bring their PSA software full circle. And I argue a lot of times that it is one of the most important parts, because if you're not being paid in a timely fashion, you can be the best at what you do, but if you're not being paid on an automated, regular basis where you can count on it, oh man, you're not in business. And we're a great case study because we were on the brink in and of ourselves. So ConnectBooster, this automation that we're talking about, we accomplish this within the software with four real simple steps. So here's our concepts. Number one, allow your customers to pay you online at any time. And I'm not pigeonholing all of us in our respective businesses that we have to get paid online every single time. But that's the trend. And when your customer is paying their Verizon bill, T-Mobile bill online at 10 o'clock at night because they're busy during the day, we're all busy during the day, or they're paying their utility bill, you know, let's offer that online bill pay to our customers. And also, if you're automating that process, allowing your customers to pay you online, that's not time that someone's spending on the phone internally, you know, within your business and taking you away from something else. So let's automate it with allowing your customers to pay online when it's convenient and when they get on board with it. Number two, and this is probably one of the more important ones, is schedule, set it, and forget it auto payments for recurring agreements or recurring contracts. And this really helps reduce the amount of accounts receivables on the books. And this goes back to where I first ran into trouble into B&G Technologies. Is my core company, B&G Holdings, was so used to being paid on a recurring monthly basis, day in, day out. That's the nature of electronic payments. When I had to take control, I didn't realize that starting a tech company was all of a sudden going to be I was going to become a financier and also a collection agency. And so scheduling, set it and forget it payments for recurring type of agreements, very, very important. It's going to make you guys it's going to put a lot of usable cash that used to be sitting in accounts receivable into your bank account. Automate QuickBooks functions. This is another piece, another very, very important core piece. All of the time that we spend in redundant things that are happening inside of the accounting package, we automate. And again, we're going to go into a quick demo here. So I'm going to show you examples of these 4 points. And then securely archive payment information for quick transactions. And this is really a 2-part piece, okay? So securely archive payment information, huge deal. Again, the core company, B&G Holdings, we deal with this PCI, or payment card industry, data security standards. And I'm sure you guys have dealt with this with your clients. It is a huge pain in the rear. And so security and how you're handling payment information for your customers, and also leveraging it out when you're doing service for your portfolio, big deal. And this stuff is completely locked down within our software and within our payment gateway. It's actually the authorization engine behind ConnectBooster. And quick transactions, right? Okay, one of the biggest pieces that takes time in a phone transaction is consistently asking for the same redundant information every time that customer calls. Whether it be running an electronic check and asking for all the information, routing number, account number, all of that, address, or you're running a credit card and asking for all of that billing information that's required to make the transaction happen. So being able to hold a record on file and run a really fast transaction if they do choose to call you, or if they authorize the payment and you have that stored on file, you can quickly jump in, take care of the transaction in and out. Who we are, okay, here's business partner Brady Nash, business partner Tyler Viekler. There's me, another mugshot for your warning. We are the owners in the B&G core family, B&G team, and B&G Technologies was where we ended up running into real trouble. See, we thought it would be great to start working in the point-of-sale industry and start selling point-of-sale because it was such a good vertical for us to tie the payments processing to. And generally, large accounts were going to be running point-of-sale, so we knew we wanted to be in that business. But now we started dealing with accounts receivable. We'd never dealt with that before. Service contracts. Our partners in ConnectBooster, I'm going to bring them up in a moment, are a large MSP regionally in Fargo, North Dakota. Yes, I am from Fargo, North Dakota. You probably picked up on that in my accent, but we were dealing with an AR for the first time. Created a lot of pain, and I quickly realized that money, as it grew, you get real excited about it when you initially see it, on the spreadsheet or on the reports when you're sitting down for quarterly financials. You're like, hey, we're owed all this money, but all of a sudden when you can't make a payroll, or you have a financial issue because you're owed all this money, and yeah, it's an asset, but when you can't use it, it doesn't matter. And that's what really slapped me upside the head real quick getting into that business, is just because I'm owed it and I don't have a real great system to collect it, it's not money in the bank. And that's where we started seeking out the solution, okay? And we basically created, I call it a Christmas wish list. We actually went out seeking a solution, an integrated solution between ConnectWise and QuickBooks, and we couldn't find it. So we said, okay, we're going to build it because we need this type of automation. And trust me, we had all the tools to do recurring billing. We're an authorized .NET reseller. We have access to QuickBooks online payments if we want it. That's our core industry. We have all the tricks, trades, and tools to be able to do it. But it wasn't intelligent with our PSA software. It was not intelligent what was happening within contracts, or like Dan alluded to earlier, a seat moved. I needed to add or subtract a billing. Well, my billing software that I had wasn't intelligent with what was going on in my PSA software. And it also wasn't tied to my accounting package in an automated fashion. Yeah, I could do a batch upload, I could download a spreadsheet, import it into QuickBooks, that's fine, but I didn't want to have to think about it. And so, hence the Christmas wish list. And here's my partners, True IT. They're the software side of the business here, right down the hall from me. They are our partners in ConnectBooster, and they actually hate that slide because I'm giving them a hard time. But we created, again, the Christmas wish list, okay? And so we said, if we're going to build this thing, we're going to make it exactly what we want. So we wanted to get paid automatically for our recurring invoices. Makes sense. Get paid anytime and allow customers to pay online. That goes hand in hand. If we want to be able to get paid anytime, we need to push the online payments. So we needed to develop that. Eliminate excuses, because we've all dealt with excuses, and this is where we become a collection agency, which I again, was news to me when we were dealing with this startup. But the excuses that we deal with, to no end oftentimes, the one specific excuse that I really wanted to eliminate was the "I didn't see that invoice" excuse. It's the easiest one to pull. Can you re-email that? Can we re-email that invoice? You know, it's 9 times out of 10 it's a delay. And now with ConnectBooster, my clients know that they're available 24/7, 365. It's miraculous how many people actually get their invoices now compared to how many didn't, now that they have them available 24/7. It really wipes that excuse off the table. We want to reduce inbound inquiries about billing. We allow customers to come in. We track invoice history, so customers can log into the portal and see invoice history. You know, all of this information is there, again, available 24/7, 365. Reduce taking payment information over the phone. You know, we can get into all kinds of statistics about data breaches and PCI compliance and the issue of security threats online, but it's amazing how much of a technical data breach is actually a manual process. You have people writing down credit card information over the phone onto note paper. Well, what happened to that notebook paper? Was it disposed of properly? Internally, we needed to basically eliminate that. Also, eliminate customers sending stuff via email. I'm sure you guys have all run into this. You come in Monday morning and customer wants to pay for invoice 1234. Whoa! Whoa! They just said their full Visa card, 16-digit CVV code, and then their child's first name, the school they go to. I mean, they'll just disclose everything, and you just don't want that sitting there. We want to eliminate that. Again, automate the redundant pieces of keeping the books, what was taking us so much time, and then also what we didn't have with any other billing system that we had literally inside of our back pocket as B&G Holdings was a deep integration into our PSA software, happens to be ConnectWise and QuickBooks, our accounting package. So what's the whole point? Well, it's to take control, giving the control back to you for getting paid. And this is what Fortune 500 companies do. You think about your Verizon, okay? You have the online bill pay, and they've invested millions of dollars into this technology too, right? You have the ability to set up auto recurring billing. You have the ability to go on and set up auto recurring billing for your utilities, your mortgage, all of this stuff. And all of these companies have spent a fair amount of money investing into it. And quite honestly, building it ourselves, we invested a heck of a lot of money into it. But our concept, being peers, was to help companies do this, literally get a hold of this Fortune 500 technology for pennies on the dollar. And that was our whole concept. When we decided, hey, this stuff is really cool and it's working for us, I guarantee other people want to have access to this type of software because it just did not exist at that point for ConnectWise and QuickBooks. We said, hey, that's going to be the whole concept, and I'm going to allude to pricing, and I'll answer any pricing questions after the webinar. That's totally cool. We can even drill out to the pricing page and go through it. But the whole concept was to help companies like myself, like you, automate your process of getting paid for less than 1 billable hour a month. Automate that process. Huge ROI on the product. And so that's why I'm so excited. And again, a lot of the features that we've built beyond the Christmas wish list were refined from the Christmas wish list. That's why virtual administrators bring us on, because we did help to change their world in terms of the billing and the automation of billing. So ConnectBooster Math, okay? ConnectBooster Math is actually very, very simple math, but the answer, it never equals what you think it's going to equal, okay? So prior to ConnectBooster, our 2 plus 2 never equaled 4. The initial 2 right here, this 2 is doing the work for your client, okay? The second 2 is actually invoicing your customer. But you don't equal 4 until you get paid. The equation doesn't work out. In fact, it works out to be 0. This is how the equation works out. You do the work, you invoice, and you wait for your money, and you're actually sitting at 0. You have no cash in the bank for the work you've done until it's actually collected. Now, here's the problem. Here's the issue. If you spend any amount of time before you get paid collecting on that bill, you're actually at -1. Now you've invested more time into that billing process, and you're sitting at -1. So now when you get paid, you're actually sitting at 3, and that just doesn't make sense. I call it unstable math. You know, you do the work, you invoice, now you're spending a bunch of time trying to collect it, you're at a -1, you get paid, there's your 4, now you're sitting at 3. The math just doesn't make sense. And that's where ConnectBooster, when I just break it down to simple terms, the automation that we provide for the majority of the way that you guys are billing, a lot of it on the recurring type side, the 2 + 2 = 4 because you don't have to spend time. It's truly a set it and forget it process and system, and it's the ultimate leverage, right? It's the ultimate leverage. Do the work one time, get paid over and over and over and over.